After 7 years, I came home. My wife made food waiting for me. But just as I was happily eating, I suddenly noticed her fingers tapping the table in a steady rhythm. Next second, my blood froze. The rhythm wasn't random, she was tapping Morse code. I kept eating without looking up, but secretly translated her taps under the table. Run. 15 bugs in the house. My heart instantly sank. My chewing stopped. I slowly looked up at Linxi. She still smiled gently.
Honey, you worked hard. I made your favorite dishes today. Eat more to recover strength.
But there was terror and pleading in her eyes. She was desperately telling me to leave. I forced myself to swallow. Inside, I was shocked and panicked. But I couldn't panic. 7 years undercover had trained me to control my emotions. Stay calm in danger. Put down chopsticks, smiled at her. Yeah, nothing tastes better than home cooking. I'm tired and dirty from traveling. I'll shower and change first. A flash of anxiety crossed Linxi's eyes, but she quickly hid it.
All right, go ahead. The water heater's on for you. Just take a shower.
So I got up and walked to the bathroom. Every step looked calm and steady, but my muscles were tense, ready for action. After closing the bathroom door, I didn't start the shower right away. I held my breath and checked the small space. Sink, ceiling, vent, toilet tank. I checked every spot where something could be hidden. Found something hard in the toilet tank. I didn't take it out. I traced its outline with my fingers. Based on my experience, newest military bug, 300 meters range, picks up heartbeats. Cold sweat on my forehead. Not normal surveillance. This monitoring is deadly. My heart sank, squeezed tight. Who's behind this? Was my mission exposed, or is Linxi controlled? What are they after? I quickly turned on the shower. The loud water masked most of the sound. I leaned against cold tiles. My mind started racing. 15 bugs, Linxi said. This home's their monitoring room. We can't even fart without them hearing it. This isn't a home, it's like the Truman Show. Should I run now? No, if I leave. What about Linxi? If they can confidently fill my house with bugs, it means they've got Linxi completely under control. If I run, she dies. I can't leave. I'll stay to see who's behind this. I quickly took a shower. By the time I stepped out, my face was calm, even a bit relaxed from the bath. Linxi had already cleaned up the dishes and was sitting on the sofa, laughing at a variety show. I know she's acting for those watching and listening. I sat next to her, grabbed an apple from the fruit plate, and started peeling it. Honey, you've been holding down the fort alone these years. It's been tough on you.
Not tough. Having you come back safe means everything. My dad's health isn't great lately. He keeps saying he wants to see us. How about you come with me to visit him tomorrow?
My hand paused as I peeled the apple. The Morse code she tapped earlier didn't mention visiting her family. This is new. I looked into her eyes. Hints and pleading got it instantly. She didn't mean her real home. That's our secret code. We set it as emergency contact before I left. A perfectly safe place. I handed her the peeled apple. The peel came off in one strip. All right, tomorrow morning we'll see Dad. Linxi and I got up at dawn. We washed up and ate breakfast like a normal couple. He helped me with my tie, and I brushed his hair. Before going out, he hugged my arm and leaned his head on my shoulder.
Honey, I'm scared.
Her voice was soft, trembling. I knew she wasn't scared to go home. She feared today's trip might go wrong. I patted her hand. Don't worry, I'm here. Those words were for Linxi, and also for the people listening behind those 15 bugs. I wanted them to believe I'm just a husband who's been away too long, and everything I say is just showing love to my wife. Next, we prepared to leave by car. I circled the vehicle before getting in as usual. Underside clean, no trackers. No new bugs inside. They're confident those 15 home bugs control everything I do. Drove out of complex, saw black Buick in rear view, following at steady distance. I sneered inside. They came as expected. Linxi saw it too. She froze. Don't look back. I turned up the music. The upbeat pop song hides our nervous heartbeats. Next intersection, 3 South Green left. I didn't slow down. I floored it, and the car rushed through as the light turned red, leaving that Buick stuck.
Shook them off.
Not easy. I watched the mirror. Pros tailing us don't use one car. A silver Volkswagen showed up behind us in under 5 minutes. Linxi's face went pale again. Don't panic, I whispered to comfort her, while my brain raced to plan a route. I can't drive straight to our agreed safe point, it's too obvious. It'd basically tell them they're busted. I need to head somewhere first, somewhere to throw them off and find a chance to lose these tails for good. I jerked the wheel, and the car swung into a side street. This road leads to Old Town's busiest wholesale market. I know every alley here like my hand. 7 years ago, this was warm. Now it's my battlefield. In the mirror, that silver VW still clung. I didn't slow down, charging straight through the market gate. The morning market was packed, with tricycles and vendors blocking the road. I honked wildly, squeezing past the crowd with the car brushing by. Then she sat pale in passenger seat, didn't scream. She gripped the handle tightly, eyes fixed on the tracking car in the mirror. Suddenly I realized she's learned to be tough in 7 years. I slammed brakes at dried goods stall. I signaled her to get water. She paused, then got it. Got out without hesitation. She vanished into crowd. Thin, steady walk. I popped the trunk, pulled a palm-sized black box from under the spare tire. This is the signal jammer I set up 7 years ago. Never thought I'd first use it here. After switching it on, signals within 5 meters dropped to 0 instantly. Taking the chance, I grabbed 2 jackets from the trunk's hidden compartment, one gray. Navy blue, plain styles. She returned soon with a water bottle. She didn't speak, just looked into my eyes. I quickly draped the gray jacket over her shoulders. I rolled her beige coat into her bag. Volkswagen 30 meters away stopped. Someone inside scanned, signal lost. I saw a familiar figure get out. Straight back, firm step still showing professional habits even in plain clothes. Zheng Feng, my police academy buddy, my only contact during 7 years undercover. Why is he here? My heart skipped a beat, but my face stayed perfectly calm. I pulled my cap down and led Xianxia deeper into the crowd. As we passed a homeless man by a wall, I stopped. He's about my size, his dirty face numb and lifeless. I took off my coat and draped it over him, patted his shoulder, handed him some cash, then pointed to my car. I mimed driving a car. His murky eyes lit up, grabbed the coat, walked toward the car. I pulled Xianxia into a narrow alley with cardboard boxes as an engine roared behind us. The homeless man drove my car out of the market, and the silver Volkswagen chased him. Zheng Feng stayed, lit a cigarette. Smoke made his profile strange. Abandoned sewer at Market End. I pried its bar 7 years ago. Back then, to hide top-secret intel. Saved my life now. Lifted iron cover, rank smell hit me. Then she pinched her nose, but didn't back off. She was the first to climb down the rusty ladder. It was dim and damp inside. Sometimes light slipped through cracks overhead, and rats scurried at our feet. Xianxia gripped my hand tightly, her nails digging into my skin, but I didn't make a sound the whole way. We trudged through knee-deep sewage for half an hour, finally climbing out of a concealed exit by a green belt. Quiet street outside. Abandoned gaming parlor still there, windows dusty. Rusted shutter. I forced a gap with my shoulder and squeezed in. Old tables, chairs inside, yellowed Mahjong posters on walls. This was my last escape route. Set up 7 years ago, no one knows about it but me. Xianxia sits on a broken chair, gasping. I was about to comfort her, but the next second, I froze. Old calendar still on July 7 years ago. But there's a tiny reflection behind it. That's the antenna of a bug. I walk over, lift the calendar. A matchbox-sized black device. Latest military bug. Indicator unworking. I instantly freeze. No one knows about this safe house. But this bug has clearly been here a long time. Who could have found this place? That smoking silhouette flashes through my mind. Zheng Feng? I stare hard at the still running bug. My fingertips feel ice cold. Safe house blown. No one came to catch me. They never meant to arrest me. Just watching my every move. Waiting for someone more important to show up, my handler, or the evidence I've hidden. Xianxia stands from the broken chair and walks to me. When she spots the bug behind the calendar, her pupils contract. She doesn't gasp or panic. She steps back and blocks that side with her body. Then she points at the pile of dusty junk in the corner. I follow her finger. There's a chess set stuck under some broken boards. She takes out the chess set, places it on the table, and signals me to sit for a game. Can't focus on chess now, but I get her instantly. The bug hears us but can't see our movements. The board's our only way to talk. First move, knight to e3. Her hand steady, eyes on my fingertips. Got it. He's asking if I need backup. Place cannon center. Cannon 2 to 5. Cannon over mountain. Tell him someone ransacked our home from inside. There's a mole. His eyelashes trembled, fingers brushing the board. That was our first marriage game using chess to send messages. He moved pawn 5 forward. Pens cross river only forward, no back. He's cornered, no way out. My heart clenched tight. 7 years, how much has he faced alone? Rook 1 to 2. Rook charges. Tear the game open. He suddenly slammed a piece onto the board. That sharp pop echoed in the empty chess room. Elephant moves diagonally. It's a defensive piece. But the spot he placed it is wrong. That's not a normal move. He's using placement to tell me something else. I stare at that spot, my mind racing. Elephant here means 3 months. What happened 3 months ago? He keeps playing. Every move is slow. The board slowly forms a picture. 3 months ago, a group knocked my door. They wore uniforms, had IDs, said they were my colleagues, said my undercover mission failed and I was killed. They came to notify the family and to bring the hero home. Xianxia's hand trembled, but her move was steady. They said the organization owed her an answer. She should welcome me home, even if only ashes. They set up a mourning hall in our home we lived in for 10 years. Xianxia agreed, crying like a real widow as she said yes. But they didn't know she'd learned to observe. When they set up the hall, they worked quickly like they knew every corner of the place. They hammered nails, hung wreaths, and secretly hid things in the walls, under the sofa, inside the chandelier. 10 bugging devices in the mattress. They weren't here to welcome a hero home, they were setting a trap, waiting for the real hero to walk in. Lindshi's eyes turned red, but she didn't cry, she just played another move, putting me in check, asking,
"Why did you come back? You knew it was a trap. Why come home?"
I looked at her, remembering in the sewer she was terrified but stayed silent, teeth clenched. She begged me to run, but I still came back. She showed me the truth with her moves, she knew we couldn't escape. "We'll face it together since I'm back. My move. Try holding the last defense line. I'll protect you now." She couldn't hold back tears. They fell on the chessboard. I reached out to wipe the chessboard, then kept playing steady with every move. We knew someone behind the bug listened to the pieces drop, and a couple reunited after 7 years play chess. They thought we were passing time, not knowing we'd settled a life and death hand over the board. Just then, Lindschi looked up at the window. Fear in her eyes, I followed her gaze. Outside, the empty street had wine-blown paper scraps. But I got what she meant, someone was coming and not an ordinary person. My muscles tensed, hand on my waist knife. Who could find us right after arrival? Xingfeng, or the people behind the bug? I stood up, shielded Lindschi, moved to the door, 3 sounds from outside. Instinctively pulled Lindschi back, fingers touching the knife at waist. That catcall was perfect, 3 cries. Our emergency signal with Xingfeng. Only he knows this place. Could it be him? I stared at the shabby window as moonlight filtered through dusty glass. I barely saw his shadow flash by. Then the door creaked open, squeak. Rotten hinges screech. Xingfeng stood in doorway, black jacket, smiling as I remembered. "Old Lin, knew you wouldn't die." He strode over, arms open. I didn't go. I glanced at Lindschi from the corner of my eye. My right hand quietly clenched and released at my side, a tactical gesture meaning, "Hide and get your weapon ready." Lindschi nodded slightly, stepped back, vanished at the dark room's doorway. Xingfeng didn't seem to notice her. He hugged me tight and pounded my back with a fist, his voice full of excitement. 7 years, an entire 7 long years have passed by. I truly thought I'd never get I patted his shoulder, muscles tense. When he hugged me, I could tell he was testing me, too. His palm pressed my back, checking for a hidden weapon at my waist. I let go, smiled. "How did you find this place?" He lowered his voice, looking serious. "I followed you from the market, but I'm not here to catch you. I'm here to save you. Traitor in Org. Someone wants you dead." He spoke urgently, eyes sincere. "I saw you shake off the tail at the market, so I knew you'd noticed. I took a shortcut to follow you. Lao Lin, I'm the only one you can trust." I stared into his eyes. They were as bright as they were 7 years ago, but something felt off. Too similar, deliberate copy. I stepped back, leaned on the table, and touched a chess set. "If you say there's a traitor, I need to make sure you're still you." He paused, then smiled. "Old rule, passcode." "Ask." I said 3 words, Phoenix Tree, Metal Box, Stormy Night. "Emergency code only we know." He hesitated little, answered, "Metal Box under Phoenix Tree." "Moved in storm. All correct, no mistakes." Relieved, but he added, "Lao Lin, we've used this code over 10 years. How could I forget? This place is too stuffy. Unbearable heat." He wiped sweat from his forehead as he spoke. When he raised his hand, my eyes landed on the thick calluses on his right palm, but something seemed off. Frequent shooters get calluses between thumb and index finger from gripping guns. His are on the palm. That's the mark from long-term knife-holding reverse grip fighting knives. My heart dropped. He knew the code so well to possibilities. Xingfeng betrayed us and spilled everything. Or this isn't Xingfeng, just a trained, surgically altered imposter. Wiping sweat, he mumbled, "Damn weather, Lao Lin, water. I'm dying of thirst." I pointed at the bucket. "Help yourself." As he turned around, I caught a glimpse of a small bulge at his waist. That's where a miniature walkie-talkie would be. Professional trackers carry those always. My mind raced. I had to figure out who he was, fast, but couldn't tip him off. I glanced up at the dim bulb overhead and suddenly got an idea. "This place is too hot, can't breathe. Open the window for air." He nodded, no suspicion. As I turned, I touched the old 20-year circuit breaker on the wall. 1 pull, cut power. Back to table, picked up old newspaper to fan, still talking to him. "Xingfeng, know how I survived 7 years?" He sighed, sympathetic look. "I know you've suffered. Now you're back, trust me. I can get you out safely." I stared into his eyes. No Xingfeng's usual impatience or impulsiveness, only calm calculation. I was almost certain, but I needed one last piece of evidence. Put down newspaper, stood up. "Too hot, need to take off jacket." Just as I turned my back to her, I yanked the handle down with my right hand click. The whole chess room went pitch black, power out. It was completely dark. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. You can't speak in hints. Xingfeng can't see anything either. But I came prepared. The old mechanical watch on my wrist has luminous paint around the dial. Barely see outline in dark. More importantly, I'd taken out night vision goggles. Put them on. Everything's dark green. I saw Zheng Feng. He didn't move, panic, or reach for his gun. He instinctively touched his waist not to draw a weapon. He guarded his walkie-talkie. His other hand pressed against his ear, like he was listening to orders. A real cop's first reaction in the dark is always to draw their gun and aim at the threat, not protect their coms. He's not a cop. Not Zheng Feng at all. I silently circled behind him, gun out and safety off. Right then, he lowered his voice and called out, "What's up, Laolin?" I pulled the trigger not to fire, of course. I pressed the cold barrel right to the back of his head. Snap. He froze. "Don't move." My voice was calm, but deadly. "Raise hands." His laugh echoed in dark. "Ha, Laolin, what are you doing?" "I'm here to save you." I yanked the walkie-talkie from his belt, threw it down, smashed it underfoot, then kicked hard at his knee. He dropped to his knees. I pushed the power switch up. Lights on, in harsh glare. He knelt, face identical to Zheng Feng's, no anger, just strange calm. He turned to look at me, lips twisted in a mocking smile, eyes full of provocation. "Kill me." "Linzan, shoot." I stared at him, gun pressed to his forehead. He gave a cold laugh. "If you shoot me, the real Zheng Feng will never come back." My finger froze on the trigger, blood turning to ice. "What?" He chuckled. "You really think you have what it takes to find him? Zheng Feng's alive, only I know where. Shoot me, he dies too." My mind exploded, his face turned terrifying. "He's fake. Where's real Zheng Feng?" My police academy bunkmate, who risked his life for intel when I was undercover, is locked up somewhere, tortured, waiting for me to save him. My breathing grew heavy, but I kept my gun steady. Lin, she peeked from the dark room, saw this. Face pale, silent, biting her lip hard. The kneeling man looked at me, grinning wilder. "Scared to shoot?" "Tough." Lin Zaran, 7 years undercover. Got brother caught. I forced down the storm inside, pressed my gun closer, and asked, "Where's Zheng Feng?" He squinted, silent, pointing his chin at the smashed walkie-talkie on the floor. "Got it." He protected the walkie-talkie for orders. Now broken, connection lost, but they know he's exposed. What will they do to Zheng Feng? Terrifying scenes flashed in my head, but I couldn't kill him. He's my only clue to find Zheng Feng. Pull gun back, but as barrel leaves his forehead, he lunges, grabs a dagger from his waist, and thrusts at my throat. I lean back, blade skims my chin, chill in air. My right hand grabs his knife wrist, knee slams his stomach. He grunts, doubling over. I don't let go, using his momentum. I lift him and smash him onto the old mahjong table. Crash! Table shatters. He lies gasping in splinters, knife far away. I step on his chest, gun to his forehead. He looks up, blood from mouth, forces, "Shoot if you dare." I don't fire, just glare, pressing harder till his ribs creak. His hand fumbles on the floor, looking for something to fight back. I kick his hand, move in, shove the gun into his mouth. His eyes widen, full of fear. I stare into his eyes and ask, word by word, "Where is Zheng Feng?" Whimpering, can't speak. I pulled out my gun. He coughed hard, then caught his breath. "Let me go, and I'll tell you." I laughed and took my foot off his, but grabbed his phone from his pocket. Phone killer's communication tool. His expression changed. He tried to snatch it back. I kicked him in the temple. He went dark. When he came to, he was already tied to a chair with wires. I sat across from him, fiddling with the phone. The phone had a password, but I handled it. 7 years ago, I learned to crack phones first. I pressed his finger on the scanner. Screen lit up. I checked the call logs and messages. He's been in touch with Professor for a month. Professor's orders were brief. Last one this morning. Target trapped. Take to usual spot. I stared intently at this short message, my mind racing a mile a minute as I tried to figure out where I held phone to him. He glanced, turned away silent. I stood up, walked to the corner, picked up the iron pipe, and returned to him. I tapped the pipe. Sweat on his forehead, lips trembling. "Where's the usual?" He clenched his teeth. I raised the pipe and smashed it on his chair's armrest. Crack, armrest broke. He shuddered, spoke, "East City's abandoned chemical factory." I stared into his eyes. Is he lying or truthful? I took a crumpled map from his pocket. A red circle marked the abandoned industrial area in East City. The factory was deep inside. I put the map away, walked to Lindsay's hidden room, and knocked twice. He peeked out, pale. I pulled him aside, then took off my mechanical watch. A tiny tracker was hidden in the band. If no word from me by noon tomorrow, find my teacher. He's a retired detective. Address on watch back. Only he knows to open. He gripped the watch tightly, his knuckles turning white. Turn back to the hitman. He looks at me, desperate eyes. Anything else? The chemical plant's full of their people. Going in means death. I ignore him, knock him out with an iron pipe, clean up the scene, and pocket the phone. Left the game room's back door at night. I drive the hitman's car east to the abandoned industrial area outside the city. The lights outside the car window grow sparse, until nothing but darkness remains. An hour later, I reach the ruins. Chemical plant smokestacks like tombstones at night. I walk my bike, following rusted pipes, sneaking in. Factory grounds of collapsed warehouses and wild grass, but I spot the disguises. Behind those random rubble piles. Hidden sentries. Someone smoking, cigarette glow flashes. Whispers carried off by wind. I stick 2 walls, slipping past guards. Deep in factory, find underground entrance. Dim yellow light glowed inside at night. I slipped in and hurried down the steps. The air kept getting damper, stinking of mold and blood. At the bottom was a huge basement. In the center, a steel-barred cage sat in dirty water, with someone inside, shoulders and head above water. He hung his head, still. I crouched in shadows, watching. 2 guards played cards by the cage. Drew knife, crept around silently. 3 seconds, both in blood. I grabbed their keys and jumped into the water. Icy water to chest. Swam to the man, lifted his face. Zheng Feng. Pale face, purple lips, half-shut eyes. Tapped his face, called his name softly. His eyelids fluttered. He opened his eyes. When he saw me, a faint light flickered in his dull eyes. He opened mouth, voice like old bellows. Why you here? It's a trap. I hooked his arm and dragged him out. He's skin and bones. He leaned on me, gasping as we moved. But as soon as we got out, he collapsed on the ground. Tore his shirt to bandage wound. He grabbed my hand, his eyes widened, and with the last bit of strength, he squeezed out a few words. The mission is fake. The Zhao we caught's a decoy. The real masterminds in our team. His hand clutched my wrist, eyes full of anger and disappointment. The light dimmed, his grip loosened. Zheng Feng. I held him and called his name. He didn't respond. The one who graduated police academy with me, the only one I trusted undercover, just died in my arms. I knelt, shaking, holding his body. Suddenly, harsh sirens wailed outside. Red and blue lights flashed through the basement vent. Next, a voice came through the loudspeaker. Listen up inside. You're surrounded. You're suspected of murdering police officer Zheng Feng. Put down your weapon and surrender now. My mind went blank. I looked at Zheng Feng in my arms, then my bloodied hands. They planned it. Made me find Zheng Feng, die in my arms, then pinned murder on me. I slowly put Zheng Feng down, stood up, and tightened my grip on my gun. Footsteps above. Dozens closing in. Nowhere to run, never planned to. Just walking toward that door step by step. I take 2 steps, stop. Wait, can't go out. They aren't taking prisoners. They're shouting so loud, it's clear they want to force me out, then take me out with good cause. If I die here, Zheng Feng's death means nothing. The real mastermind goes free. I back to the water cell and squat. I look at Zheng Feng's pale face. Don't worry, brother, I won't let them win. I close his eyes with my hand, thinking fast for an escape plan. The footsteps are getting closer outside. Flashlights sweep through the vent. I scan this basement. There's a pile of abandoned chemical barrels in the corner, some leaking harsh-smelling liquid. Rusty pipe leading outside. I remember old factories have sewage outlets straight to the waste river. I move along the wall to the barrels, unscrew one lid. Half a barrel of unknown liquid inside. I dip my clothes in, sniff at industrial alcohol, highly flammable. Pour alcohol, draw line. I made Molotov cocktails with empty buckets and rags. Then I took off my own jacket, stripped Zheng Feng's off, and put it on. While changing, I saw a deep knife wound on his chest, the mark left by interrogation. Eyes burned, no time to grieve. I took his badge, slipped it in my pocket. Evidence, keepsake. People outside were pounding the door. I lit the rag, tossed it into alcohol. Flames shot up, racing to the door. Smoke-filled basement. I rushed for sewer pipe amid chaos. Rusty grate broke when twisted. Squeezed in, crawled along pipe. An explosion sounded behind me. Molotovs ignited chemical supplies. A powerful shockwave shoved me forward, and I tumbled out of the pipe into the icy river. The river was filthy and stinky. Held breath, swam 10 meters underwater, surfaced. Police cars lined shore, lights flashing. Spotlights swept the river. I hid in reeds, gasping. Just then, I saw Xianxia. Standing in an abandoned factory's shadow across the river, a homeless man in my old clothes was with me. The homeless man even copied my walking style, limping and alert. Xianxia patted his shoulder, pulled a blood-stained shirt from the bag. It was my shirt, swapped with the homeless guy at the market. He moved fast, put the shirt on the homeless, pointed at the riverbank. The homeless man nodded, then stumbled and ran toward the river. Reached riverbank, spotlight swept. Someone there, shouted, gunshots. Bam, bam, bam. Homeless man fell into river. Water turned dark red. Gunshot stopped. Walkie-talkie, target hit, in water. Seal downstream now. I lay in reeds, watching blood spread, heart pounding. Xianxia planned perfectly. That homeless man died for me. Everyone thinks Lin Zheng was shot and drowned. I swam to shore in chaos, climbed through another gap. Cops running on embankment. I crouch in shadows, pull out prepared item from bag. It's a standard police uniform, the one I hid in this abandoned factory 7 years ago. I quickly change, stuff wet clothes in trash, head down out of shadows, walk along riverbank to command truck. People run past me, but no one gives me a second glance. In chaos like this, anyone in a police uniform is one of us. I blend into the crowd, shout and run with them, slowly approaching the biggest command truck. Modified comes command vehicle antennas on roof, lights on inside. I circle to the side, stand in shadows, and through a half-open window see someone inside, someone I never expected here. Deputy Director Zhao, the Provincial Department's number 2, approved this undercover operation. He's holding a walkie-talkie, speaking. Voice through window, all units, expand search area. Dead or alive? Staring at him, why is he here? Operations like this don't need someone at his level, unless he needs to see me dead himself. Radio, target not found downstream. Repeat, not found. He frowned, then relaxed. Grabbing the radio, he said lowly, attention all, on-site check confirms. Suspect Lin Zan refused surrender, shot dead. Body swept away by flood. Search continues. Hearing those words, ice in veins. He didn't check if I was dead, just declared me dead. He needs me gone. Needs this case closed. I saw him put down the radio, lean back, and his mouth lifted. That was a relieved smile. He's smiling, ceiling escape, I'm running. Subtle but real smile. Standing outside the car window, less than 3 meters from him. I stared right at him through the glass. His hand tapped the armrest. That rhythm, I'd seen it on the killer's phone. That's the encrypted beat the professor uses for orders. Deputy Director Zhao is the professor. The real mastermind was in the hearing room all along, pulling strings, deciding our fate. I wanted to punch the glass, but held back. No weapon, his men everywhere rushing in was suicide. I stepped back into deeper shadows. He's in the car, talking quietly, ordering cleanup, no loose ends. I turned into darkness. His last radio words, Mourn Hero Lin Zan, mission complete. I stood in the dark, listening. Zhao's voice came through the car window, each word stabbing into my heart. He declared me dead, case closed, everyone stand down. I can't disappear. Lin, she was home, surrounded by listening devices. Alone, facing a pack of wolves. I slipped into the night and returned to the city. But I didn't go home, and I couldn't. I went to an abandoned building across from my place. On the 6th floor, an empty room's window faces my balcony. I set up my pocket binoculars and watched my familiar home through a gap in the curtains. Dawn broke. I saw Linchi on the balcony. She was dressed in black, hanging laundry with a hanger in her hands. Slow, stiff movements, she was crying. From a distance, I saw her shoulders shaking. The first piece she hung was white. White means she's safe. It's her way of telling me she's okay for now. Clenched fists, nails dug in. Red second one, danger. Someone was here. My heart tightened. The third was black. Black means being watched. Hung 3 clothes, went inside. The whole thing took less than 5 minutes. But she told me everything. There's a bug in the house, and someone's been there. She's being watched now. I stared at that window, mind racing with ways to get inside. Can't act during the day. Wait until dark. The day dragged on so slowly and endlessly that it felt as I watched Linchi from the abandoned building, seeing her at the window again and again, always hanging laundry. Different color each time. That was her way of telling me. 2 people in uniforms came in the morning. Then someone in plain clothes showed up in the afternoon, searching everywhere for something. My heart was pounding, but she could hang laundry. She wasn't found. The sun set, night fell, and as I was about to move, I heard frantic chopping from my kitchen. The sound was especially clear in the night. Thump, thump, thump. It wasn't just chopping veggies, it was Morse code. I listened closely, Dijin Kuai. Those 3 words mean the killer's here. Hide. My hair stood on end. Lin, she was warning me with chopping sounds. She didn't know where I was, but she knew I could hear her. Our secret only we get. I can't wait. Get in now. I slipped out of the abandoned building and went to my building's back. A rainwater pipe runs to the 6th floor. I climbed it, hugging the wall to avoid streetlights each floor. When I reached the 5th floor, I heard movement above. Someone was pushing open a window. A dark figure peeked from my 6th floor window, glanced down, then pulled back. He's checking for tailing. That's a killer, not just one. After he pulled back, I kept climbing up. I pressed against my kitchen window on the 6th floor. Curtains drawn, narrow gap. I saw Linchi with her back to the window, chopping vegetables fast. Her shoulders were shaking, could be fear or anger. A man in the kitchen doorway, black jacket, hands in pockets, watching her every move. Linchi kept chopping without turning around, but she raised the knife a bit, and the blade flashed in the light. Signal, kitchen safe, come in. I pushed the window open. It wasn't locked, she'd left it. I slipped into the kitchen silently, landed 3 meters behind him. She didn't turn around, just paused chopping, then resumed the steady thumping. The man kept staring at her, totally unaware someone was behind him. I crept along the wall, timing every step with her chopping, masking my footsteps with the sound. Closer 5, 3, 1 meters. He sensed something and turned. I lunged forward, covered his mouth with my left hand, and slashed his throat with my right. Eyes widened, body limp. I gently laid him down on the floor, not making a single sound. She's chopping never stops, steady thuds, same rhythm. He knows I did it. He's covering me with that sound. I drag the body to a corner, signal to Xianxia. He nods, but keeps chopping. I slip out of the kitchen, hug the wall, move to the bedroom. Hallway, door opens, man steps out. We lock eyes. He freezes, reaching for gun. I stab his heart. He groans, collapses into me. I drag him to bedroom. Put down, heard living room movement more than 2. I scan the bedroom. My eyes land on the old solid wood wardrobe big enough for a person. I open the wardrobe, slip in, leave door ajar. Through crack, I see someone enter. He searches, opens drawers, checks mattress. When his back's to the wardrobe, I push out, tackle him down, grip his neck tight. He kicks and thrashes, but soon loses strength and goes limp. Let go, gasp. Right then, footsteps sound outside. Another person comes in. Hide behind door, wait him in. He peeked, I punched his temple. He collapsed. I pinned him with my knee on his chest, knife to his neck. He froze, eyes full of fear. I lowered my voice and asked, "Who sent you?" "Deputy Director Zhao." I pressed harder. "Who else?" His eyes flickered. My knife cut his skin, blood flowed. He panicked, blurted, "Shadow 2. "Who's Shadow?" "I don't know. I really don't. I just follow orders." "Who's Shadow?" "Shadow's listening tonight, too." I felt a jolt. What's that mean? He swallowed. Shadow's behind those bugs. He heard everything at your place tonight. My mind went blank. Deputy Director Zhao was high enough, but there's someone above him. That person is now somewhere, listening to this room through those bugs. He heard me kill. Knows I'm alive. I sprang up, ran to the living room, ripped the bug from behind the painting, and said to it, word by word, "I'll find you soon." The receiver went silent for a few seconds, then a low, eerie laugh came through. It went quiet, but that laugh echoed in my mind. The Shadow is listening here somewhere. Exposed he knows I'm alive. What next? Bring more or blow up the building. Beat him to it. Crouched in living room, staring at listening device. This military gear has 300 meters range. Receiver nearby next door or across. I rush to window, pull a crack, look outside. The building across is like mine old 6-story, packed windows, which hides the demon Shadow. I turn to Xianxia. She's standing by the kitchen door, pale but steady-eyed. She points to the wall meter. I get it. Find receiver. First chaos enemy. Cut power to create chaos. When the building goes dark, devices lose power briefly. Backup takes seconds to start. My chances those seconds. I signal. He nods, turns, enters bedroom. A few minutes later, he comes out in pajamas, hair messy, phone to ear, sounding tearful. "Hello, Protty. Power tripped again. I'm home alone, scared. Hurry, everyone, come over and take a look." Her acting is so incredibly spot-on and convincing. The people listening behind those monitors will only think footsteps in hallway. Electrician checked meter box. Xianxia opened the door and talked loudly to him, so the listening device could hear. "Mister, can you check if the fuse blew?" The electrician checked and said, "Building overload. Need to pull main switch. Wait here." The moment he pulled the main switch, a pop building went dark. All lights, appliances, listening devices shut down instantly. This is it. I put on night vision, push door, rush hallway, sprint stairs, rooftop, kick iron gate night wind howls. I dash to the rooftop edge, leap to the opposite building, roll to get up, then run to the entrance. Down 3 floors, stop at 302. Before the outage, I lock this place with binoculars across the street. This window glowed all night, not ordinary light, but electronic standby indicators. I take out the key and insert it into the lock. Door opens, I slip in, pitch black. With night vision, I see clearly. Living room has 3 monitors, listening devices, high power transmitter. The screens are showing my living room, bedroom, and kitchen. Monitor feed all here. A thin figure is sitting in front of the equipment, fumbling to restart the system. Backup power on, images showing on screen. He turns around, I see his face, and my heart clenches hard. It's old K, the instructor who taught me combat tactics at the police academy. The mentor who took a bullet for me on my first mission. The hero who died in action 7 years ago and got first-class honor posthumously. He's alive, sitting here watching my every move through the screen. He sees me at the door and freezes, but then he smiles so natural, so kind. Just like on the training ground when he watched me finish my first 5K. He stands, opens arms. "Lin Zeng, you found me. My best student never disappoints." I don't move, gripping the knife handle tight, my mind in chaos. 7 years ago's operation, his death fake, whose burned body. He's been hiding, pulling string Zeng Feng's death, the fake one. And those 10 bugs at home, they were all him. He looks at me, eyes admiring, like a masterpiece. "No, Lin Zeng, best undercover I trained. How much have you done for me all these years? Everyone you took down was someone in my way." Dry throat, voice squeezed between teeth. "Where's Zeng Feng?" He smiled and shook his head. "Zeng Feng's stubborn. He insisted on checking your task in the Zhao's case, so I had to bring him here." He pointed at a tape recorder. Want to hear his last words. Before I could answer, he pressed play. Xing Feng's voice came from the recorder, mixed with static and screams. Old K, traitor. Lin Zan won't let you go. He'll find you. Then came electric crackles and Zhang Feng screams. Those sounds cut my heart like knives. I lunged at him. I stabbed straight at his throat, but he dodged and punched me in the ribs. Took punch, sliced arm, blood sprayed. He staggered back, hit equipment. Monitors clattered down. He held his wound, smiled. Come on, kill me, you'll die too. This building's full of my men. I ignored everything he said and lunged with the knife again. He grabbed a chair and threw it at me. I kicked it away and closed in. The knife pressed right against his chest.
Él me mira jadeando. No puedes ganar, Lin Zheng. No puedes investigar el caso de Ye Xiao. Hay gente arriba, jamás imaginarás quién. Zheng Feng murió diciendo: el verdadero culpable está entre nosotros, es este hombre. ¿Qué significaba con gente arriba? En ese momento, se lanzó contra mi pecho con la cabeza, me hizo retroceder 2 pasos. Sacó un cuchillo de la cintura y me atacó por detrás. La forma en que sostenía el cuchillo era igual que Jia Zhengfeng. Entrenó personalmente a ese asesino. Esquivé el cuchillo, golpeé su muñeca, el arma voló y se estampó contra la pared. Me lancé sobre él, lo presioné al suelo con la rodilla en el pecho y saqué la insignia ensangrentada de Zhengfeng de mi bolsillo. El borde de la insignia estaba levantado. Ahí estaba lo que Zhengfeng consiguió con su vida. Presioné la insignia en su herida. Gritó y se incrustó en la carne. La microtarjeta se hundió en su cuerpo. Tú, ¿qué has hecho? Jadeando, lo miré fijamente. Es de Zhengfeng. Antes de morir, mientras lo torturabas, grabó todo en secreto. Cada palabra tuya está ahí. Su rostro se volvió pálido. Intentó tocar la herida, pero lo sujeté fuerte. No se movió. Sus ojos, desesperación, locura.
He slammed the red wall button with his uninjured hand. A piercing alarm echoed through the building. He grinned, blood from mouth. Hey, do you really think you've won? I have 20 men here. They'll be up in 3 minutes. You can't escape. Kill me. You die too. Xing Feng died for nothing. You did all for nothing. I stood up, kicked his temple. He fainted. Alarm blaring, footsteps in hallway. Someone banged, someone shouted. I rushed to the window, opened it and looked down. The ground was packed with shadowy figures. They surrounded the building. I glanced at unconscious old K, then the working surveillance devices. On screen, Lin Shi stood in my living room, looking up at ceiling. He didn't know what was happening, but he knew I was trapped once again. I gritted teeth, took old K's bloodied badge, pocketed it. I charged to the door, which shook from pounding. The moment I opened the door, a horde surged at me, and the guy in front swung his rifle but right at my head. Dodged, stabbed his thigh. He fell screaming. I ran out, stepping over him. More people crowded in. I got squeezed in the narrow stairway. Behind me was the surveillance room. Liao K still unconscious. I can't retreat 1 step back. I die. Someone grabbed my left hand. I twisted crack. Wrist dislocated. Gun dropped. I bent down, grabbed the gun. Pressed it to the front guy's forehead. Everyone froze. Breathing hard, I backed the surveillance room. Grabbed Liao K off floor. Dragged him forward. Gun to his temple. Move and I'll blow his head off. I spoke coldly and dragged Liao K out. Others stared at each other and slowly made way. Liao K woke, face bloody. He tried to speak. I hit his head with gun, but he went limp. I dragged him down. Downstairs, more than a dozen people stood in a semicircle. Dozens of guns point. I dragged old K forward, stopped by the curb, opened the door and shoved him into the driver's seat. Got him back, gun to his head, drive to provincial office. He shuddered and looked at me in the rearview mirror, disbelief all over his face. I pulled the trigger. It clicked. He floored it. Car shot forward. The others chased in cars, but old K was better. He was my mentor, taught me racing years ago. He's my hostage now. I watched the rearview mirror the whole way. More pursuers behind, sirens blaring. I didn't let old K shake them. Made him drive downtown to the provincial office. That's where I needed to go. Half an hour later, the provincial building appeared. A white banner at the entrance mourned Comrade Lin Zhengfeng. The word memorial stung my eyes. I marched old K out of the car and strode straight for the main entrance. Guard froze, hand on holster. I took out Zhang Feng's police badge and raised it for him to see, then kept walking inside. Memorial in 3rd floor hall. Dragged old K up, everyone stunned. Some calling, others screaming. I kicked open the hall doors. It was packed inside. Photos of me and Zhang Feng above the podium, wreaths below. Provincial leaders front row. Deputy Director Zhao on stage, ready to speak. When he saw me holding old K, the color drained from his face. I dragged old K to the podium and threw him down. Everyone stood up in shock. Some shouted for security, others yelled to catch me. I slapped my gun on the stage, then raised the bloodied badge and pulled out the micro-memory card inside. I need a player. Deputy Director Zhao's face pale. He pointed at me, Lin Zhang. What are you doing? Do you even know what you're doing? He ignored him, grabbed a laptop from the nearby table, plugged in the memory card, and hit play. Zheng Feng's voice echoed in the auditorium, mixed with broken screams. Old K, you traitor. Lin Zan won't let you get away. Then old K's voice came through. Your good friend has been my pawn all along. Every mission he's done these years has cleared the way for me. The Xiao was a stand-in. The real, the shy is me. Silence in the auditorium. All looked at old K and Deputy Director Zhao. Old K stood up, face bloody.
He pointed at me. Fake. Lin Zhen's the traitor he killed Zhang Feng, now framing me. He's silencing me, he's got backers.
Deputy Director Zhao, Lin Zan, breaking into the provincial office with a gun and threatening leadership is a serious crime.
Someone agreed. Yeah. More people whispered. I looked at them coldly, sat inside. The evidence Zhang Feng gave his life for meant nothing to them.
Just then, an old janitor walked out of the corner. He held broom and dustpan, in dusty uniform, head down, walking slowly. When he reached the podium, he stopped, then took off his wig and peeled off the disguise on his face. A wrinkled but determined face. Stunned. It was him, the old informant who passed messages for me when I was undercover. The retired detective who left early from injuries. Everyone froze, staring at him. He pulled a recorder from his coat, pressed play, and Deputy Director Zhao's voice came out, full of flattery. Rest assured, Lin Zheng and Zhang Feng will handle it. No one will investigate the Zhao case. They'll only be buried as martyrs. Another voice, low, distant, metallic, altered by a voice changer. Good, you did well. You'll get every bit of your share once it's done. Recording ended. All silent. Deputy Director Zhao's face white, body shaking. Old K stared wide-eyed, lips trembling, trying to speak but silent. The veteran detective nodded slightly, then faced everyone on stage, his voice old but clear. Zhou Weigu, Badjo 718. Retired from injury. Janitor at provincial office. All these years, I've been waiting for a chance to bring the truth to light. Now I have it. Two in disciplinary uniform stood, walked to Deputy Director Zhao, showed IDs. Deputy Director Zhao slumped in his chair, then was dragged out. Suddenly, he struggled to look back at a corner, eyes full of fear and desperation. What's he looking at? Old K was taken out too. As he passed me, he grinned creepily. You think you won, Lin Zan? You know nothing. I watched him get dragged away, but I didn't feel relieved at all. Zhang Feng's dead. I'm alive. Old K's last words pierced my heart. Old K sat across from me, handcuffed in a bright room. No fear, only mockery. Who's Night Snack? Can't catch real Night Snack. Is Deputy Director Zhao fronting for someone? He laughed even harder, looking up at the ceiling. His eyes weren't just staring at the wall, but at something far away. I suddenly stood up and followed his gaze. There was nothing on the ceiling, but I spotted a tiny black dot in the corner. That's a camera and it's a remote online one. A red light blinks behind the lens aimed at the interrogation room. He's working. I grabbed the guard at the door. Where's the interrogation room's surveillance terminal? Guard hesitated. Second floor monitoring center. I ran to the second floor, burst into the monitoring center. Rows of screens. One showed that interrogation room. Old K sat there with a weird smile. Small window, top right, remote connection. Someone's watching this interrogation online. I checked logs. Tech typed fast. Tracked IP to overseas server. They set multiple jump points. Last login shows someone just dialed in with a satellite phone. Satellite phone. Old K's words flashed. The real Midnight Snack never catch him. He's out there, watching via satellite. Watching his men caught, chaos unfold. He's holding a drink, enjoying his show. Frozen. Zhang Feng's death. Old K and Deputy Zhao's arrest his sacrificed pieces. The real mastermind is still hidden, and he knows me now. He knows I'm alive, knows I've gotten this far. What will he do? My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered, a deep, distorted voice. Couldn't tell gender. Every word felt like ice down my neck. Lin Zan, congrats on round 1. Game just starting. Line went dead. I ran out to check the number, but knew I wouldn't find it. That person wouldn't leave a trace if they dared to call. I stood in the hallway of the provincial building. Outside, the night was deep, distant lights twinkled, but I knew somewhere in that darkness. Eyes watching me. Shadow escaped, the Zhao free, case closed. Old K and Zhao taken away. Higher up said top secret. No investigating, no questions. Ordered indefinite leave. Protection, just to silence me. Then she waited at Director Shen's door. Beige coat, slimmer now. When she saw me, she didn't speak, just took my arm. Her hand cold, trembling. Go home. When she said home, it felt like a needle in my heart. That home was once full of bugs and killers. Is it really home? We went back anyway. The moment I opened the door, my body tensed. But Lin, she walked ahead. She turned on all lights, opened curtains, let sunlight fill every corner. She smiled at me. I've already checked thoroughly, and there are no new listeners detected in the system right now. I watched him. I don't trust anyone, but I trust him. I checked every room, every corner behind chandelier, inside outlets, under mattress. Nothing there. This home, once full of traps, finally belongs to us. Lin, she cooked in kitchen. I sat in living room listening to chopping. I stood, hand on knife. But soon I noticed the rhythm was off, not Morse code. Just normal chopping. Random thuds. I sat down and let go of the knife handle. Lin, she brought out plates of food. Raised pork, sweet sour fish. Stir-fried veggies, my favorites. He sat down and filled my bowl with his chopsticks. I ate, no stinging. 7 years since I last ate his cooking. He tapped the table twice. I looked up, his smile was gentle, eyes red. I recognized that rhythm, not run, but I love you. My throat felt blocked, so I kept my head down and ate, not letting him see my eyes.
After dinner, I took out the chess set I brought back from the chess pieces and our tap marks.
Lin, she stood beside me, watching. I glued the broken chess piece, wiped the board clean. I put the chessboard on the balcony table. Lin, she sat across. We played chess. Sunlight on chessboard and face. Eyelashes fluttered in light. I'm applying for a desk job, no field work, just at the city bureau. Her hand paused, holding a chess piece. She kept playing, but her hand trembled. I'll come home every day. He lowered his head. Tears fell on the chessboard, landing on the riverline. He looked up, wiped his face, then smiled like when we just married. That afternoon, we sat on the balcony, drank tea, played chess, enjoyed the sun like a retired couple. The sun set, sky orange red. Lin, she slept deeply on my shoulder, brow relaxed. He never slept well in 7 years. I draped my jacket over him and sat still. It got dark. At night, I lay awake. Lin, she breathed steadily, fast asleep, but I couldn't sleep. Years of habit keep me alert at night. Just then, phone vibrated. Picked up, saw encrypted message. The sender's number was unfamiliar, but the name jolted me Zhang Lai. Another police academy comrade with Zheng Feng went to border drug enforcement after graduation. Never seen again. Message, help me. Stared at those words, gripping phone tight. Zheng Lai's in trouble. He'd only send this if desperate. I looked at Lin. She slept deeply, a faint smile on her lips. She had a good dream, no killers, no bugs. I put down my phone, finger hovering over delete. If I reply, if I go to help him, what about Lin Shi? What about this family? Don't reply? He'll die like Zheng Feng somewhere unknown. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and pressed delete. Message gone. Screen calm. Put phone back, closed eyes. No sleep all night. Dawn was just breaking when I got up. Lin, she was still asleep. I got out of bed as quietly as I could. Open door for breakfast. I stepped out, stunned. A package on the ground, wrapped in craft paper. No stamp, no address, just Lin Zheng. Receive. I crouched, opened it. A police badge. 00217. Zhang Lai's. Under the badge was a tape with dried dark red blood. Still shocking. Picked up tape, hands shaking. I went back in, found that old recorder, and pressed play. The tape crackled, then Zhang Lai's voice came broken, strained, like someone choking him. Lin Zan, only you can clear my name now. They say I'm a drug dealer, say I'm a traitor, I'm not. I found something at the border. About the Zhao, they found me bang a gunshot. Then silence. I stood in the living room, cold, as the recorder crackled. Then she slowly came out from the bedroom and immediately saw the expression on my face, which seemed to catch her attention right away. She didn't speak, just held my hand tight. The sun was rising outside, and its glare off that police badge stung my eyes. I stood in the living room, clutching the blood-stained tape. Zhang Lai's voice echoed, only you can prove my innocence. No address left, how to find him. Then she let go, went to the bedroom, and came back with car keys. He put keys in my palm, fingertips brushing. Wherever you go, I'm with you. I looked at him, throat tight. Can't take you. Too dangerous. She spoke first, voice soft. Gear in the trunk for you. Opened mouth, no words. She already guessed I'd go. She'd prepared everything in advance. How much has this woman learned in 7 years? I took her hand out, open trunk, 2 vests, 2 guns, plenty ammo. First aid kit, food, water. A map at the bottom had a border spot circled red. I looked up at her. He pointed to a line of small writing in the corner of the map. Zhang Lai's notebook. Only we get the codes. He hid address and badge. Didn't notice. Lin, she looked at me, her eyes red, but steady, not a hint of hesitation. We got in, started engine. House shrank in rear view, vanished in fog. 3 days later, we reached the border. Tall mountains, dense forests, thick mist, damp leafy air, distant gunshots. Not sure anti-drug police or smugglers. I took out Zhang Lai's map. The mark spot is deep in the mountains, a day's walk from the nearest village. We didn't hesitate, went straight in. Lin, she followed, steps light. We used sign language. Stopped if movement ahead, continued if safe. No words better teamwork than talking. By evening, we reached a valley. The map-marked place was ahead. I lifted binoculars, saw cabins, guards, patrols, people with guns. They weren't ordinary smugglers, they were trained mercenaries. I gave Lin Shi the binoculars. She looked, face serious. Not scared, just gripped my hand tighter. Sneak over when dark. I told him the plan and sign. I'll draw fire front. You go back, find Zhang Lai. He shook his head, gripped my sleeve. No, too dangerous. I patted his hand and pointed at the gun on his waist. I trust you. He nodded, biting his lip. Eyes glistened, no tears fell. At 2 ohm shift change. I shot the cabin front. Gunshots broke silence. Mercenaries rushed over. Shot and retreated. Drew them away. 50 meters. Shots erupted behind Lin Shi's direction. My heart raced as I ran back. I ran through the woods. Saw Lin Shi behind a rock, firing at the cabin. She spotted me, pointed behind the cabin cellar entrance there. Took one out, dashed, lifted board. Dark inside, smelled blood. Jumped down, flashlight on. Someone curled in corner, bloodied. Zhang Lai. He lifted his head, cloudy eyes spotting me.
His lips trembled, unable to speak. I carried him up. Lin, she helped above. We crawled out of the cellar when a dozen spotlights lit up. Blinding light made me close my eyes. Dozens of gun barrels aimed at us from all sides. Dawn. A tall, thin figure in black trench coat stepped out from lights, moving slowly like strolling. He stopped 5 meters away, signaling his men to lower guns. They actually lowered their guns. I stared. Glare hid his face, only outline visible. He spoke low. Lin Zheng, we meet at last. Same voice as on the phone. This is real, the Zhao. He smiled, raised his hand, and took off the mask. Under the lights, his face cleared, and all blood drained from my body. That face was 70% like mine, same eyebrows, eyes, nose but older, more weathered. My mind just exploded. Impossible. He saw my expression and grinned even wider. There was madness and resentment in that smile. I didn't expect that your mom never told you you actually have a brother. Stared at him, speechless. He stepped forward. 30 years ago, he took you and ran, leaving me there. 5, searching trash for food. Traffickers sold me overseas. Do you know what these 30 years were like for me? Dry throat, voice through teeth. You took revenge, want to destroy everything. He laughed. Tears from laughing. Revenge? Yes and no. I built this network not for you. My brother became a cop and got on my trail. Life's twisted humor. I walked step by step. Lin, she pulled me back, but I ignored her and stopped 3 meters from him. His face like a mirror, an indescribable feeling welled up. He tilted his head. What? Kill me? Shoot. Just like you kill those bad guys, kill your own brother. I kept my hand on the gun. He stepped closer, leaned in. How did Zhang Feng die? Why was Zhong Lai framed? Because I told them Lin Zhan is my brother, he's working for me. All my blood rushed to my head. Step back, spread arms, laugh. They believed it. The police, officials, I said it. They bought it. You went too deep to like me. They've been suspicious of you. My head buzzed. I remembered old K's strange smile when caught. Deputy Director Zhao's look before being taken, and my indefinite leave orders. They suspect me. He kept laughing, then suddenly pulled a gun at Lin, she behind me. I didn't hesitate, drew and fired. Bang! Gunshot echoed in valley. He looked down, blood seeping through fingers. He stared at me, no anger, just strange relief in his eyes. He fell back smiling. I stood there, smoke from my gun. Lin, she rushed, held me, face on ground gasping. Mercenaries looked at each other. Someone dropped gun and ran. The rest scattered like monkeys from a fallen tree. Walked over, squatted before him. He lay on ground, eyes open. Saw my lips move, whispered, "Th, thank you." I held her hand until it cooled in mine. The sun rises, golden light fills the valley and shines on his face so much like mine. Got up, put away gun, carried Zhong Lai, led Lin Shi out. Walked far, looked back. He lay there like an abandoned child. A month later, all cleared. Old K, Deputy Zhao, foreign network cut off. Zhong Lai cleared. He healed, returned to border, said it's his battlefield. My transfer report was approved. Lin, she picked me up. We left the provincial office, sunlight beautiful. We went home. Nothing changed, just 15 fewer bugs, fewer hidden eyes. Lin, she planted a sweet osmanthus in the yard. She said autumn will fill it with fragrance. I took out the chess set I brought back from that abandoned game room. The board still had marks from when we played. I carefully wiped them clean with a cloth. Dug hole under tree, buried chess set. Lin, she stood by, watching me silently. She knew burying those 7 years, yet remembering them. Days passed. I found a regular job, working 9 to 5. Lin, she still cooked at home, and we'd go to the market in the evenings like any ordinary couple. A year later, she's pregnant. Daughter, eyes like her, nose like me. Our daughter turned 3 that autumn. Osmanthus bloomed, yard fragrant. She played under tree, digging with shovel. She called, "Dad, come." I walked over. She was holding something dirty, but I could tell it was a chess piece, the king. She held it up. "Dad, what's this?" I squatted, picked her up, and looked at the blood-stained buried chess piece. The osmanthus tree, and Lin, she smiling at the door. The sunset warmed us all. Kissed my daughter's face. "This is what your parents and uncles protected with their lives." She nodded, half understanding, and gripped the king tightly in her small hand. The osmanthus scent drifted over, carrying far, far away.